People talk about the economy as if it's a thing, something solid, like the earth, the moon, the sea, like the weather or the laws of physics. We're encouraged to think that the economy is something out there, vast, technical, beyond our control. The concept of the economy is tied into nationhood. Countries that are big economies are perceived as being powerful. There's very much an attitude of the bigger the better, of our economy is bigger than yours. And what's the role of the average person in this? You're a number, a consumer, a worker, a voter, a taxpayer. You're a cog in someone else's system. But here's the truth. You are the economy. The economy isn't a machine, it's a mirror. It reflects what we value, what we fear, what we believe about each other, what we believe about ourselves. There was a moment when I realised I couldn't play the game anymore. Not just the job, but the worldview that came with it. I've been a professional economist for decades. I've spoken the language fluently: growth rates, productivity, trade balances, monetary policy. I worked at the highest levels of industry and government: Brussels, Westminster, Beijing, Washington DC. I helped powerful people make economic decisions. I can say that I did enjoy a lot of it, and I was good at it. But somewhere along the way, the language started to feel hollow. The calculations were always precise, the analysis rigorous, but I became less and less certain in the outcomes. Even when GDP was increasing, for example, I noticed that poverty and inequality were also growing. Record profits were accompanied by record despair. Markets at all-time highs while communities fell apart. My growing doubts weren't only about poverty and inequality. I met many highly successful, rich people who weren't happy, who were living and behaving in a way that couldn't possibly result in contentment and happiness. And yet, no one ever asked the obvious questions. What is the economy? What's the economy for? Is our economic model robust? How can we say that the economy is doing well when vast numbers of the people in it are not? It wasn't a coincidence that this was a time that I was asking questions in my own personal life, wondering about the meaning of life, finding life more difficult, drinking more, struggling with depression. This led me to seek some changes in my personal life, and I had a kind of awakening, an emotional awakening, a mental awakening, even a spiritual awakening. That's when it began to crack for me. The metrics, the models, the profession, the respectability, they weren't wrong exactly. I just realised that none of it is real. I realised that the models we use, the metrics we chase, they're just a reflection of what we think matters. Worse than that, what we're told matters. That what we're taught in conventional university economics courses matters. If we value profit above people, if we reward exploitation over care, if we honour overconsumption or hoarding more than sharing, then that is the economy we will get. Economics as it's taught and as it's practiced is built on a kind of mythology, a useful one perhaps for a certain kind of management, for organisation, for control. The definition of the economy imposes an order. When we define things in a certain way, this can determine how we perceive it, and this order kind of works, or appears to, but it's a lie. It's not useful in terms of thinking of the meaning of life, not for justice and equality, not for building a society worth living in. So what does this mythology say? It says that you're rational, you're self-interested, you're separate from others. The system is neutral, fair and objective. You always want more, you have unlimited desires. Capitalism relies on growth, on profit. It needs workers and consumers with these characteristics. I've come to understand that if we believe something ourselves, this is what we become. The truth is that none of these assumptions actually hold, yet this is hardly ever questioned when we teach economics. Almost all economic theory, all economic orthodoxy, all economic scholarship, it's all based on these assumptions that actually turn out to be wrong. What we call the economy is just a word that we give to the sum of our interactions, our choices, our relationships, our values. It's not actually a material phenomenon, it's human through and through. If the system looks cruel, exploitative, unequal, uncaring, it's not because of a flaw in the code, it's because of what we've actually encoded into it. Selfishness. The system makes us unhappy. Many of us are lonely. Inequality built into it. Exploitative. These are the characteristics. These are the reality of the situation. Sometimes there are glitches where the system is shown to be fantasy, not least the 2008 financial crisis, where the system would have collapsed but for government stepping in. But somehow the system always sustains and rebuilds itself. This is the truth, and the system doesn't like it, so it does everything it can to discredit it. It's like the economy almost does have a mind of its own, like Adam Smith's invisible hand, protecting itself from the truth being revealed, keeping people gaslighted that the economic mythology is the truth, but it's not. This is the truth. You are not a passive unit in an external system. You are the creator of the system itself. If you spend your money differently, the economy changes. If you stop acting as if more is better, the economy changes. And the economy changes if you treat people with compassion, patience, dignity, and dare I say it, love. That one's a bit radical. The economy isn't money, it's not policy, it's not a spreadsheet. The economy is a relationship, it's choice. It's a choice between fear and love, and then that's scaled up. And there's a deeply philosophical point here. We each have our own perception of the world. The economy for you may be different than the economy for me. If I believe in fear, that's the economy I'll experience. If I believe in love, that is the economy I'll experience. It's possible for two people to be in exactly the same place, same time, same circumstances, yet experience completely different economies. So you see how I'm proposing that you are the economy. You determine the economy that you're within. It's a radical idea. If you change, the economy changes. There's a great relief that comes with this, but it also comes as a big challenge. If the economy is them, you get to be angry. If the economy is you have to change. But here's the hope in that. Change isn't theoretical. It doesn't require a revolution or a new prime minister or even a seat at the table in Davos. This isn't a manifesto for a new system that will fix everything for the global economy from the top down. It's a personal proposition, an invitation to see that your role in the economy might be different than you currently think, to imagine together something better, something deeper, something that begins not with money or markets, but with meaning. If you want a better economy, the place to start is not your bank account. The real economy starts with how you think. It starts with how you live. It starts with what you do when no one's watching. It starts and it ends with who you are. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be in power. You just need to remember one thing. You are the economy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.